Hello everyone on my channel. In this video, I'm going to walk you through how to replace the boot on the brake support on a Peugeot 308 car with a T9 body, and if you think there's nothing to be changed, like you can just take it off and put a new one on, I'm sorry to say, but it's not that simple. There are certain details to be considered. First things first, as always, let's start from the beginning. Jack up the car, take off the wheel. Now the second point, most likely everything will go just fine for you. But for some unknown reason, in my case the lock spring was positioned like this, while it is supposed to look like this. Why would anyone do it differently? I have no clue. Yes, I've tinkered with it before once, but everything was returned to its previous state as it was before I stepped in. Anyway, be cautious. Moving on, take off the protective caps. Let me just say that the new ones come in the package. Once you've done that, get a 7-sided wrench, an 8-sided ring wrench, and unscrew the guides from top to bottom. After you've loosened them, take a ratchet wrench. It significantly speeds up the process. Keep turning until you see the thread fully exposed here, then remove the spring. I remind you now it is not standing correctly. We remove the caliper. If you have not climbed there for a long time or at all have never climbed, then you may have to knock a little, but only carefully, without fanaticism. Here I have a hole in the boot, and it is very good that I discovered it in time. If I had continued to drive like this, I think that in 6 months or a year I would have had problems with the caliper. So what does it take to remove an old boot? Something thin and sharp. I used a construction knife. Carefully pry it in a circle. The boot is quite easy to remove. As you can see, nothing terrible has happened to the support itself so far, although the hole is not small. Question number 2. What to buy? Look, first of all, you will not buy the boot itself, only the repair kit for the caliper assembly. There. A lot of extra rubber bands, but there's nothing you can do about it, and it's not very expensive. At the time of recording the video, this is about 600 Russian rubles or $8. Why exactly auto-friend? In fact, it's no coincidence that I also changed the caliper boot on my old car. Out of the cheap ones, I happened to buy 4 sets of them, because it was very difficult to install. They all tore in my hands, so amongst the inexpensive ones, Autofa seemed optimal to me. In terms of the rubber's elasticity overall, the quality of execution, believe me, it really is a difference. I'm not promoting anything, I'm just sharing my experience. Next, the most interesting part is how to install a new boot in its place. You are unlikely to be able to just put it on. There is nothing to rest on, and the rubber doesn't want to press evenly around the entire circumference. But there is a solution. There are 2 options. Simply find a lid from vitamins at home, like I did, or from cosmetics for example, with a diameter of 49.6 mm. Also, a sewer pipe with a diameter of 50 mm is also acceptable. Despite the seeming simplicity of the design, such an elementary device will save you a lot of time and nerves. Next, I highly recommend using paste for brake cylinders, 80 Bremse cylinder paste, or something similar. This paste is used to lubricate the brake cylinder itself on the mirror. The boot itself from the inside and the seat in principle can also be lubricated so that the boot sits better and more evenly in its place. In general, this lubricant is not to say that. It's a must, and you can install it without it. Just don't try to smear it with something else. If not intended for these purposes, there will be consequences. Do not forget to clean this ring from dirt. Corrosion is possible. If the brake piston was washed out in the process, then be sure to wipe it. Excess dirt there definitely not necessary. Take the paste that I have already mentioned, lubricate the piston seat. You need a little paste without fanaticism. As for the boot itself, first we install it, not the parts on the piston. Then take our cover, press down lightly and evenly and effortlessly, set the boot in its place. Perhaps everything seems simple in the video, and it really is when you use this miracle device. Believe me, with your fingers or God forbid a screwdriver. The boot will never fall into place so effortlessly, and there's a high chance you'll tear it again. What about us? The set with the boot came with rubber grommets or boots for guides, not sure what they're properly called. Mine aren't that worn out yet, so I won't change them. They can stay on the shelf. If you use anti-squeak lubricant, apply it to the pads and put the brake system back together. I hope you find my advice useful. As they say, no troubles at all. Good luck to everyone on the roads. Bye bye.